Today, I would say it's probably some decent evidence of fishing throughout the dive.
Maybe also yesterday there are a lot more overhangs and, you know, ledges that the lines could get caught on, and this is like more smooth feature, so
easier to collect gear
collect
again.
gear.
Copy.
We've seen a couple of fishes so far, mostly roughy. I think it's been the most abundant, as well as a boarfish.
Oh, Michelle said it's frequently fished in this area.
So we're not quite at the top of this feature yet, but we're getting there. There's always the potential to have more gear on top of the mound than there is on the sides, but we'll see what it looks like when we get there. Yesterday we were seeing much more crevices and small overhangs in the side of this slope. It looks more fluid and mound-like with extensive sediment channels.
I mean, there's not even that, it looks like that many stylasters as yesterday. Yeah. It's
sponges.
really dominated by sponges and crinoids.
That's another, those red encrusting sponges.
There's that purple.
So we have been making pretty good way over this dive today. We cut our track roughly in half due to some weather delays this morning. But we've mostly been able to make up most of the objectives for this dive. Our intention was to start closer to 550, 560 meters, but we're sitting at a depth now of 355. Started at around 397.
Halapus.
Oh, another one. There are a bunch of
Very similar communities throughout this dive.
Yeah, I don't expect we would see too much of a change in depth since we're only covering about 100 or 50 meters so far. But there's, for that much vertical depth, there's been quite a difference, and the seafloor we've been seeing. We've just recently, over the past maybe 60 meters or so on the bathymetry here, we've been going along seeing this hummocky terrain. But earlier on in the dive, we were seeing pretty extensive sediment flats that seem to have more large sponges. Oh, this is the first one of those volcano sponges.
Could we snap zoom on the sponge above the lasers? Well, to the left, and right now it's above the lasers. Yeah, at 12.
Yeah, copy that.
And I think there's fishing line right here.
Fishing line in the background right there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Copy.
Yeah.
All right, Vidya, you can snap from here, and I'll move towards it. Yeah, that's a nice line.
Well, this is a little bit different.
The other one had a very distinct osculum.
Yeah.
Right?
It was more volcano shaped.
This
more
one
bulbous.
seems more. It's tough with sponges. They have such a strange morphology. Sometimes they all look slightly different. The only way we can really identify them to the species level is to look at the spicules that form the sponge, kind of like a skeleton, but not quite. They form a matrix that's filled with pieces of other cellular material. And each sponge species
Video to come partial.
has slightly different spicules from another.
I was going to say come partial.
Thanks, pilot.
And then, yeah, watch it. If you want a better view, I was just going to move closer. Or if you're happy with that, we can keep moving.
Did anyone see a fish in that zoom? Someone maybe below the sponge?
Oh, it's a prey. Squat lobster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back in?
Yeah, can we just quick check?
Yeah.
There we go. Yep. Squat lobster.
These are really small squat lobsters.
So hard to pick out against the sediment here.
All right, let's inspect this line.
Okay.
Video snap from here. Let's hold that.
Oh yeah, so you could see, it looks like the hooks. So what the fishermen use to catch these queen snappers are vertical long lines. And they use rebars to weigh down these lines.
Video, you can come wide.
There's a number of hooks at different lengths of these lines.
Pass this pretty quick, so make sure. Let me know if you see anything floating.
That looked like a fishing line drop.
Is this Ricardo?
Pop over.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a fishing line. We also saw, I believe, a rebar, one of the weights earlier.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Do you fish this
What
area?
happens is that for the deep drop, you don't use a nylon line. You use a Chinese or it's like a rated type
push this
line.
this line. Sound good?
So it's not a typical clear line.
Yeah,
it's
sounds
black, white, green, or yellow.
Great.
Ah, okay. Do you fish this area, Ricardo?
Yep.
Copy. Yeah.
What do you usually target when you're fishing around here?
Red snapper. That's what I do. By the Sico, you got the groupers, and you could get a big groupers there. But right now it's closed.
Okay.
That area is closed 6 months a year.
Copilot. Switch.
So you have around buoy 6, buoy 8, and the Sico. There's some areas that close through the year that you cannot fish inside the marked area.
Yeah, it's 6 months, right? You can't fish.
Yes, the Sico is 6 months.
Yeah.
How deep are we now?
We are right now at 351 meters.
Okay.
Is there
How
a
about
certain
fish?
time? Yeah, is there a certain time of the year do you catch more snappers here? Is it seasonal, or do you usually catch snappers year-round in this area?
No, there's not really a big difference. However, when you have big currents, typically the experience is less.
Oh, okay.
You know, sometimes you drop the line and go straight down up to 500 feet, and then after 500 feet, the line starts moving very hard. So you have some bottom current.
Yeah, today the surface currents were
Fish lower
pretty strong.
Another detail is
partial.
that, you know, we try to look at the deep finder, the hard bottom, because in the hard bottom, we get more bites than the soft bottom.
Probably turn lasers off. Lasers off.
Do you also, with your fishing gear, a lot of times get the fishing gear sometimes tangled in sponges and that? Do you notice that where you're catching these snappers, you find, I guess, more corals or sponges?
Very rare, because the
Got it?
hook are cycle hook, so they don't really get into the sponges.
Okay.
So it's very rare. However, sharks, you know, shark attack a lot, and when the shark attack, many times the line are not designed to hold that weight and the pressure, and they
video?
break.
Understood.
Great. That's great information. Thank you, Ricardo.
So we're looking at here is possibly a green eye. It's a fish we've seen the past couple of days. Chlorophthalmus. These green eyes are, I don't know, would these be prey fish for larger snappers?
I would
possibly?
imagine, yeah. I mean, they're pretty common. We saw them common yesterday and today's dive also.
This fish seems to be snapping at small prey items of its own while we were coming in for a zoom.
Halfway. Understood.
Ricardo Lugo is one of the local fishermen here in Puerto Rico. He is part of the Boquerón Fishing Association. So throughout this expedition, we've been, there's been a pretty terrific partnership. We've been collaborating with scientists from all over the world, and also some of the local fishermen from the East Coast to West Coast in Puerto Rico. And also high collaboration with the representatives of the NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research. And we've been all coming together to explore some of these deep waters around Puerto Rico and the USVIs.
We're getting close to where we gotta turn left. All right. Copy that.
We're
Okay.
close to 8.5.
Yeah, just off maybe 30 meters or so off waypoint. Can't tell in the distance if there might be some more relief up there.
I think so.
Looks like there might be some
Copy.
another bump coming up.
It looks like something pretty big right here. And the lights were on. Yeah, looks like there's quite a bit of relief or approaching. Here's the halibus.
Oh, yeah.
Can we snap zoom? It's at 9 o'clock right now.
We might actually want more of a snap zoom
Right here?
on the just above.
Above.
Yeah. There was a scientist on shore who mentioned that Holopus actually looks a little bit different, a little strange. Yeah, that one right there, that claw.
I think these are so cool.
Yeah, very close relatives of those yellow crinoids we've been seeing, but this one is firmly attached to the substrate.
And they're always, they're never, when we see them, they're rarely open. They're always with their arms curled.
Slightly curled, yeah.
Yeah.
Any more zoom on that?
Yeah, you got more zoom video? I can get closer too. I'm a little ways away. I can approach it closer if you need a closer look.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
yeah, that would be good.
Come out video.
Copy that. It's up to what, 20? Yeah.
This
Oh,
one?
it's a shadow.
Come in. Partial. Yeah, you can come in all the way now. Thanks, video. All right, so now we're right on top of it.
Closed up, but it's okay. Hopefully we can get that image we need. So we're looking at a type of crinoid similar to those yellow feathery star-shaped organisms with lots of long feathery arms, also known as feather stars. But this crinoid is a little bit different. It's attached to the rock pretty firmly by this
I'll try the
hard
other
hold fast, and
Video. Do you have any interest
we're
in
looking at
hybrids?
these actually harder stony structures that make
Alright,
up the
hybrids coming on. 3, 2,
joints
1.
of each of the arms here. We received a request from one of our shoreside scientists to get a better image because some of the Holopus species we were looking at the other day looked a little bit odd, and we thought we would get some better imagery while we were here.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
He wanted
That's called a photo bomb.
a
wow.
lobster's photo bombing.
Want some of the action.
Oh, there's a burrow in there. I didn't even see that.
No.
All right.
Okay, thanks. I think this is enough.
All right. Pilot's clear.
Alright, lights coming on.
Yeah.
So these feed on bottom living invertebrates, like small decapods and mysid shrimp. Yeah, there's quite a few of that red and crusting sponge.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like another
Another green eye?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these feathery structures on top of the rock here, that's what I was referring to as the relatives of the Holopus.
I think this would be the ridge we probably follow to the northwest.
Yeah. Now the question is, do we want to follow it under or on the top? I guess
Maybe on the
top,
edge.
on the edge of the top one.
Yeah. Try that and see if we maybe.
Let's see how far it goes up first.
Yeah. I think the top's pretty much right there. Yeah. It's not too tall, watch lead. That'll give you an idea of how tall it is. Pretty large colonies down there. It's kind of crumbling away.
So this is something more of what we were seeing yesterday with these overhangs and kind of this failure in some of this seafloor.
Look at all the sponge nodules. It's almost a monoculture of these like cotton ball sponges. There might be some encrusting things or attached organisms under this overhang. That would be worth looking at. Just these sponges right
Fish.
for now.
Yeah,
Above you,
these
probably.
are really big
Yes,
ones.
yes.
Oh, fish. Here's a queen.
Come in partial.
Yep, here's a queen. We're right now at a depth of 345 meters. En la
Snap it.
pantalla es un cartucho.
Alright, laser's coming on.
Looks like a pretty small one.
We'll let it go.
Did anyone catch an estimate on that size? I didn't. No, we can
it's about
instant
10.
replay
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
do it instant.
Another fish on the seafloor, center.
Come back in.
One of these
Oh, this one.
wrasses. Yeah.
It looks like it has something under. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, you could see the spot on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
One of the larger ones we've seen. It's over 10
That's
centimeters.
right.
Yeah. Come in partial. A little more. Hold. Copy.
All right.
All right.
This is definitely the kind of environment we were finding them in the other day.
Come full wide.
These types of outcrops and overhangs seem to be ideal for fish in this area.
Wow, look at these sponges.
This is quite a sponge hangout here.
Yeah.
Get a little closer. So watch, did you want us to kind of ride under the ridge, or do you want us to go peek up and see what's up there, or?
There's some other prey fish kind of along the ledge here. Can we, kind of in the 5 o'clock position?
Come in partial?
I wonder
Which
what those
one?
could be.
These ones are the.
There's 3.
Gotta pick one.
These were the ones that were feeding in the sand, or are these the ones that were?
Oh, like the
Um,
black chins? No, I don't. I think it's a little bit different. I don't know if we've seen these before. I don't know. No, these look different from what we've seen in the past. The fins have this kind of banding, or the edge of the dorsal fin has a dark coloration.
Epigonus.
Yeah. Oh, those are.
The black chins. I believe there's also another a large fish under the overhang too.
Come out.
I think it's upper left.
Deep water cardinal fishes.
All right. Let's see.
It was red.
This one?
No, it's like more to the left, I think.
All right.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to hide from us?
It's
Come in.
hiding, yeah.
Hold.
It's the grumpy roughy.
Ooh.
Okay, that's good.
All right. You come wide video. You got a lot of that one.
Then leave that slight overhang.
Yeah.
That's very well.
Yeah, Epigonus, deep water cardinal fishes.
There's quite a few. I see 3 on the screen right now.
I'm guessing they're also possible prey items for these snappers.
I think we'll probably move to my port.
To port, you
Up
want me
there.
to center you?
Yeah, you can turn to port a little bit.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Center you up. This is me looking due north.
So what we saw yesterday, that these overhangs are really important for not only fish to take refuge, but also we
can bump
found a
forward.
lot of these small shrimp that could be prey items for these queen snappers.
I think it would definitely be worthwhile. That
Follow that
queen snapper we
that way.
saw come
Yeah,
by did come
so, yeah.
from above. So there's a good chance that there could be some
See what's up here.
benefit to being up on top of this feature.
So I'm looking, yeah, 340.
Sounds great. All right. Go to see what's
Some
above this
cup
feature.
corals along this
Rotate back to
edge of
north.
this feature too.
Turn starboard.
A lot more of these holopus
Yeah,
along the fringe.
this is the most I've seen the halibus.
Yeah.
Usually you see like just a couple on a dive or maybe a one.
Yeah. Sometimes they can be pretty dense if it's on the right overhang. Now this is watch lead. As we kind of get to our the depth here we're going to be at for a while, can I get a better estimate of the off bottom time?
So this is probably the plateau, judging by my sonar.
Thanks, Nev. Pilot, can we go slightly down a little bit to the
Yeah.
lower left? I thought I saw something, kind of a white stick, yeah, right at the 7 o'clock position right now, coming into the center of the screen, just to the right of the yellow crinoid. Yeah,
Come in.
just past it.
Right here?
Now at
Or am I
just
mistaken?
slightly above, to the upper left. Okay, no, it's encrusting. Yep, I thought it would have some dimensionality to it, but it's just an encrusting sponge. Never mind.
I think this is. I think his position's good.
And then we can just move the
Have him.
ship
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So move the ship like 180 or no, excuse me, 280, right? So move the ship along the contour, and then his heading won't necessarily be the same heading of movement, but I'll just stay in his view.
Yeah, and I'll hit it at an angle.
Yeah.
Or I'm just looking north. So
We'll cut it. Sound good?
I'm happy with that.
Just bring 270. Yeah. Or somewhere in there, 275. Whatever. That sound good, Sean?
Yeah, maybe. What's the contour? What's that? Yeah, what's this? Maybe 285?
I'll come back down to this.
285 looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us on
We
this
start
dive
20
today, we're
meters, see how-
diving at a
see how we-
depth of around now
we like it.
340 meters north of
Or
a
it's
marine
slightly
protected area
more
called Bajo de
pilot,
Sico
maybe like
in the Mona
45.
Passage. We're pretty
I'll hold this.
much due south of the island of Desecheo on a submarine bank that is suspected to have deep water, commercially important fish communities. So far we've seen one queen snapper in addition to several small prey fishes for those snappers in the area. We're hoping to see, as we get up to the top of this feature, if there are any additional fish observations or benthic community observations like corals, sponges, and other mobile invertebrates. Haven't seen very many shrimp, if at all, on this dive, which we were seeing quite a lot yesterday, and the abundance of those snappers were a little bit higher.
Water port pilot, just to set it up to a certain level.
That's good. Kind of work my way down.
Yeah.
See if we see anything new in this area.
Buenas tardes y gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Estamos norte de Bajo de Sico. Está en el oeste de Puerto Rico, sur de la isla de Desecheo. Estamos explorando un banco submarino en aguas menos profundas. Ahora estamos en la profundidad de 344 metros. Vimos un cartucho en profundidad de 345 metros.
Video, this is pilot.
Y vimos muchas
Oh,
esponjas
the snap on this
y
kind of
crinoides.
caught my eye. I don't know what it is. Oh,
Baby crinoid.
Sí, como es un crinoide en la pantalla.
you can come out.
A lot of small cup corals here. It's very difficult to see
Next video.
what they are, but a lot of small ones. Maybe only a couple centimeters in height.
Looks like there's
Yeah, but, direction is the ship maybe? So we can slightly
maybe
south.
some other outcrop
Maybe it'll
right
bounce
over there.
Yeah. Looks like we're moving a little bit deeper too as we move along this wall. Do we want to stay kind of up on the top, or do we want to follow these features?
Maybe
It's hard to say
265 or
Yeah.
something. or-
because
The topography is very interesting.
Yeah, copy that.
Yep.
Looks like did its 20, right?
Maybe
Yeah, you
next.
could just adjust the next one.
Yeah, it's like 3.
so this is an area where
Yeah,
the fishermen have
start
target
adjust for that.
fishing some of these deep water snappers, and also some misty
Yeah,
groupers.
copy that. I noticed I was kind of pulling away from it.
And there was evidence. We found one of the fishing lines and possibly a weight that they
Look at the
use. They
swallow
use
until you get underway.
sometimes a rebar
Copy. You just put another one in.
to weigh down their lines because these are vertical long lines.
Oh, you can do 20. Yeah.
Video, let's come in partial. See something with black light. Maybe I've seen stuff. But, oh, okay, never mind.
Looks like sargassum. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just north of an area that is a protected area 6 months of the year due to spawning aggregations of red hinds and other groupers in the area called Bajo de Sico. And it's currently closed right now. On our first dive on the east side of Vieques, we saw some rather large schools of silk snappers and some big misty groupers, I believe like 3.
All right, video, let's come in partial while we wait for the ship to move here. See if there's any small subjects we can't see. That's good. Hold there.
Oh, there's a little shrimp.
Oh, there's a small coral.
Ah,
Or no, that's a sponge with zoanthids. Can we look after the shrimp to the upper left?
Yeah. Small
Get a
white
better
ball.
image. Oh, yeah, small white ball with fuzzies coming out of it.
kind of look like one of those true
Coming back in video.
octocorals at one point.
Yeah, right. I have a feeling these are some sort of parasitic zoanthid that's taken over part of this sponge.
Sorry, I was drifting away video.
Yeah, I would say so. Looks like zoanthids. All right, thanks, pilot.
Sorry. All right, video.
I was not expecting, well, I didn't know really what to expect, but the sand that's at the base of this step, I thought it was kind of always going to be this hard ground stepping, but there's these like sand channels between these steps.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's just the slope isn't steep enough to channel sediment, all the sediment down, or if maybe there's some sort of erosional kind of process going on. The sand, it doesn't look as, it's not as full of pteropod shells and things that we were seeing on other dives. It seems more fine-grained than that, more homogeneous.
So it looks like crinoid rock here.
Yeah, these white little sponges look like they just grow to that size.
Certainly everywhere.
Gav, how's that move doing?
I think you can just see in the distance above the crest of this
With a little starboard keep
feature, we're on more crinoids up there as well. My guess is that wherever you see you have more crinoids, that seems to be the ideal location for currents for suspension feeding critters.
Just going to do a bump maybe north.
Watch leader, are you happy with our progress down here along this edge, or would you like us to stay up the top there?
Yeah, I think we're going to try and head up towards the crest of the feature. Yeah.
All right.
So why don't we
And if it gets too flat up there, we will see if we can drop back down. But I think we want to be up at the top because that's where we suspect the fishes are.
Understood.
Yeah, so I want to do 15 meters maybe. Looking at 20 degrees right now. Maybe 15.
We'll zoom on this urchin while we get the ship underway.
Yeah, just do 20 meters. I think that's good. Yeah.
You can snap in if you'd like.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
This is we saw this one in the beginning of the dive, pancake urchin, area soma. Those modified spines that have those bulbous end structures are like hypodermic needles, as Chris Ma has mentioned. And they leave a pretty wicked sting on your hand if handled.
Pretty good climbers too.
This guy's going fast. We saw one going really fast yesterday. They have places to be.
Sediment to eat.
Next video.
Could see how it could be a deterrent for a fish who would want to eat something that's soft and nutritious inside, but you know, I don't think anyone's going to get at him.
No, not with those spines. Pilot, this is Watchley. Can we zoom on the bottom right corner? There's an orange. It's right under a sponge.
Copy. Good snap it video.
It's another encrusting sponge. Oh, this is a different sponge. Looks like a Petrosia.
I wonder actually how many of these white cotton ball looking sponges are parasitized by zoanthids, and what would make certain colonies of, or what would make certain sponges more susceptible than others, because that's the second one we've seen so far that has covered zoanthids.
Zoanthids, yeah.
Maybe it's just a matter of time. Yeah, but it seems like the ones that are encrusted with zoanthids don't necessarily mind.
No.
They're not discolored.
Like that one. That's like half, looks like half alive, half dead.
Okay.
All right, video.
Science is clear.
Pilot's good.
Alright, so I'm going to give you more tether.
All right. I think I have enough tether to get to the top now.
Yeah.
Working my way up here. This one would snap it. Snap in. This guy's
Oh, here's a couple.
arms open.
Holopus
Octopus,
is
yeah.
becoming more common.
Do you want a closer look at this one or not?
No, that's all right.
Okay. All right, video. We'll continue to the top. All right.
So is this more or less the top of the feature, or does it continue onwards much, you think?
You video bring out the background. I think this is it, according to
Looks
my.
pretty flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just some small
Looks like
terrain
there's
on
some,
top,
like,
you know, lumps and
divots.
bumps.
Yeah, this is definitely the ridge.
Yeah, this would be the edge of the feature, I think.
All right. So we'll follow this ridge then, watch Sleep, to the
Yeah.
RV's left port
Yeah,
here.
that sounds good.
Sound good? Awesome.
Yep, copy that. And probably at this point, I might just kind of turn port.
So for
follow you.
folks on the
Just for
shore,
Sound good?
we are pretty much in the vicinity of waypoint 6, within
Just move along a little.
about 20 meters of waypoint 6. We're just going to follow the edge of this feature all the way along for as long as we have remaining left on bottom, which should be about an hour and a half, a little bit under an hour and a half now. We're looking for any changes in topography that might indicate there's some sort of relief, but I think it's more or less going to be a smooth-edged lip up here, although I can see a part of the rock jutting out in the
Yeah,
distance. Going to keep an eye out if there is any, if there are any areas of relief
I'm
on the
lined
top of this
up.
slope. There seems to be a lot of rock debris
With the ridge pretty much centered. in my
just
camera.
below us. Pilot, what is your altitude reading like right now?
Got 7.5 meters.
7.5, so yeah, pretty good slope here. Almost a 7.5 meter vertical at least.
All right. I'll come back up to the top ridge here. See what we see. A little bit of line there, looks like.
Yeah.
Possible fishing line right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
I
Yeah, you
see
can
it on
see
the right hand side of the screen now.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that's kind of going across the top.
Another fishing line.
Yeah. Video, let's snap on the small red guy. I don't know if we saw him today. Oh yeah, never mind. Pancake Urchin.
Another climber.
Expert rock climbers.
They usually prefer sediments. I'm surprised to see them on a vertical face like this.
What's
might
this
get a little
orange?
to port to the
I
center
think it's
ridge.
can we look in the lower right corner? There's an orange feathery object. I think it's a smaller crinoid, but
Come in, partial. Hold. Come in more.
yeah,
Ah, yeah.
I think they're a little bit more bronze in color at the beginning of their life. Yeah, I saw one that was kind of bronze yellow earlier on in the dive. Then maybe they do a color change, or they slight interspecific color variations in these crinoids.
There's something waving. In that little hole.
All right, pilot's clear.
We're still quite deep. I don't think we would expect to see any light penetration at this depth, but it doesn't mean we're not looking. We're still at about 330 meters, and usually at depths shallower than 300 meters, we have the opportunity, depending on how far offshore we are, to see coral and algae and other photosynthesizing organisms, but I don't know if we'll see that. I think I see a sea star actually at 7 o'clock, a white pentagonal shape on
Got
a
it.
rock.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right, video, frame it up. Try to do it while floating.
Oh, there we go.
Going to asteroid, eh?
Yeah,
that
it looks
one?
like a coney asteroid. It's got this stippled kind of pattern on the front side of it. It's really these thick kind of plates that run along
Oh, yeah, the
edges.
border.
Yeah, it's very pentagonal. Usually, sometimes we see them with the arms are a little bit longer, but this one. Yeah, very nice star. Thanks very much, pilot.
Yep. Good eye.
We might have seen that one yesterday, earlier
I
on in the dive.
You want to move?
Maybe the day before. I'm confused now.
Like
No, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
285
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
You just do like 15-meter hops. Does that sound?
Perfect.
So I have not still seen any
Sounds good.
of these snappers on top of this feature. I saw one. It seemed to fly by us from the top to the underhangs or overhangs under the
Zoom in.
crest of this ridge.
Shrimp.
Can we snap zoom?
Yeah, come in. Video.
Right. There's something moving. It's one of these mohawk shrimps. It's the heterocarpus.
Yep.
I guess.
Heterocarpus. Yeah, we were seeing quite a few of them yesterday alongside the smaller red shrimp. It's pretty small, less than 10 centimeters at least. I'm noticing there's actually a zoanthids on many, many more of these sponges here. It might actually explain why they're so numerous. Maybe they need to be extremely abundant to avoid being succumbed to these zoanthid parasites. Oh, nice little umbrella.
Oh, there's like a small shrimp inside the
It's a
crinoids.
small little fan there. That
Yeah.
could be a bryozoan or a black coral. But it's so tiny.
All right, video, you can come out a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. We got a ship moving us down this ridge here.
Is there much more relief below us, or is this we're still trying to track the smooth edge? But is there much vertical relief below? Or is it kind of
Serious
smooth?
view, you can see what's below D2, but this is the profile here.
Drops off pretty quickly here.
Yeah, look at that.
I think there's something white branching right here. Right in the bottom right-hand corner.
Copy. Lighter in color.
Yeah.
Video come in partial. I think I'm. Yeah. I can try to spin it. I'm looking kind of down.
What is that?
Zoom out a
Yeah.
little bit.
That's what you're.
That's
Yeah.
I think it might be some kind of maybe Nepthiid or Alcyonid, but
All right. Try to hold
Is
that.
that what you were?
yeah, I think it
This
could
should
be. Yeah, it's in the right depth range. Yeah, there we go. One of the first few corals of the dive. I don't recognize this one. Yeah, it's kind of a tough spot. Pilot, do you think it's that these kinds of vertical walls would make a good collection of this, or?
That one's pretty small and not in a good spot,
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay. We can move on.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste too much time trying to maneuver into position here, but yeah, I can see how small it is now. It's only at tops 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to get against the wall. Okay. Should have grabbed the one at the other side when it was on the boulder, sitting on top of the boulder.
We'll just follow the top of this ridge, if that sounds good with you, Watch League.
Yep.
Okay.
I think there's something right to the right of
Come in.
the lasers. Yeah. Sea cucumber, maybe.
Oh, two things.
Yeah, and a crab.
Some kind of decorator crab.
I think that's the crab that was in the Halloween video.
I'd say so. This one looks much larger. But this is the first holothurian we've seen on our few days of shallow water diving here.
You can come out a little bit, video.
We keep saying shallow water. It's kind of just shallow relative to what we have been doing. We're still actually in depths that are classified as being deep sea. But we're diving more or less around the 300 meters, 330 meters right now. Thanks, pilot, on that. Can we go see if catch up with that crab if it's still in the area?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold that. There he is. Frame it up. Hold there. In more, if you got it.
He's really decorated.
Wow. Trying to identify all the things that it's decorated with, and I can't quite make everything out.
I think like zoanthids.
Yeah, it's got
Something.
Yeah, I think those are actually, yeah, they might be zoanthids. They may be stoloniferous no, zoanthids.
Oh, look at the
Is that a shrimp?
shrimp hanging out in the hole.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Or squat lobster or something. I can't tell. Yeah, I wonder why it has this one pair of appendages that just is much longer than all the others, and using it as some sort of cover.
Yeah, it looks like it's unstable
Come
when
in a
it's
little more if you
walking.
got it.
Yeah, trying to tightrope
Uncomfortable.
walk.
Yeah.
Hold that.
It's one of the most curious crabs I've ever seen.
Maybe to make itself look bigger than it really is.
Or maybe blend in as a stick.
All right. Pilot's clear.
Yeah. Interesting. Can't quite tell what type of coral that is. I'm reasonably certain it's a zoanthid, given that we've seen